Okay, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah and it is another double week Friday reads. I did not read anything last week. There's two reasons for that. And the first of which is I was stuck reading it felt like a thick, dense fantasy, but it actually wasn't that long. But I was reading that, and I have also started my read of 2 Green Angel Tower. This is the part 1 physical edition. And so I was taking this kind of slow when I wasn't reading that other one that I ultimately didn't like. Whoa! Books are jumping at me. So yeah, I didn't have anything read last week because in addition to that, we were also prepping and planning for Celebration of Life. That was what we called it. We were having a celebration of life for my family member who passed recently. So that was taking up a lot of time and emotional and mental bandwidth, but it went well. We had as much of a good time as we could and we got to, commemorate her. So that is gone, that is past, and now we are, continue to move forward. And I do have some things to talk about from this week. And the dud from last week. So let's start it off with the dud, and that was The Isle in the Silver Sea. And I feel really bad about this because I know a lot of people are super anticipating this, but it didn't work for me. Yeah, so this book is 370 pages maybe, and I think ultimately this type of story, I think what Tasha Suri wanted to tell maybe would have been better served in a novel that would, not a novel, but in a series that was 2+ books long. If she had been able to go into the nitty gritty, into the either fall full face into the whimsy or fall full face into the nitty gritty hard magic of it all. But instead we get a really messy, smashed up version of both of those things. It didn't work. So this one is about 2 women who are trapped in a tale. So on this isle in the Silver Sea, the whole idea is that people are born either normal or incarnates. And incarnates are part of stories that continue to replay and reoccur, and that's what keeps the island alive. And they are part of a story called The Witch and the Knight, in which they fall in love, but eventually the knight will kill the witch, and it will drive the knight to despair and to also die. So these 2 women are caught in it, but they don't want to get stuck in this fate. They want to live their own lives, and it is their story of trying to break that cycle and still come together, still find a way to help the island. And oh, this felt so messy, fam. This felt so messy. Why did I say it that way? I've been hanging out with teenagers too long. This felt so messy. The first part of the story was well constructed. It felt good. And then we hit a spot where we begin our quest and we're going into these woods and we're told we have to hurry, we have to hurry, we have to get there, we have to do this thing. And they get sidetracked by bad things like you do. But then after said bad things happened, we're like, oh, and then we just spend a week getting back to this place. And I'm like, where's the hurry? Also, why are we just told it took a week? And then suddenly our characters are falling all over each other, awkwardly in love, but awkwardly not. And I don't know. And then there is the resurrection trope where there are consequences, things happen, someone dies, but then, oh, it's okay, everybody can come back. So it's just I don't know. It felt messy. I liked some of the themes and ideas that she's exploring with this, but I feel like we needed more time for each one, and we needed so much more to really make this feel like an organized thing, but it just ended up feeling like a mess. So I still want to read her epic fantasy series. It is a trilogy, and it has a lot of big praise, so I'm hoping to get to that one, maybe in the future at some time, but this was just, it was not it. It was not it. Then I did read the next Murderbot book, which is what was jumping at me a minute ago, and that is Exit Strategy, and this is book 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to count. My books are over here. I'm getting hot already. Oh my god. So this is book 4 in the Murderbot series, and this is the last book that I have actually read in this series prior to this read through. And I remember now the ending of this. I remembered it once I had finished it, but I had actually no recollection of it up to that point. So this has Murderbot returning to the people that they initially saved in the first book that freed them from their contract to the company. Murderbot kind of left them oh no, I have freedom. I don't want to be, trapped and stifled. and they run off and they do a bunch of stuff and they're like, okay, I'm going to go back to these people and help them. And this is that happening. This is a fantastic fight scene at the end. And we really see Murderbot kind of sitting at the end of this at like a precipice of, are they going to stay with these people? What are they going to do? Are they going to fight the company? Are they going to fight this other entity that is coming for them? Like all kinds of stuff going on. And my read-along partner, my friend Jessie, has said she wants to read Fugitive Telemetry next, which is the, I think, 6th book novella that was published after System Network Effect. They're right here on this shelf. I reorganized my books. They're right, there. They're over here, so I keep looking at them. It was technically the 7th one published, but she wants to read it next because she says it takes place after this one. I don't know. I'm trusting her. She's read them. So Fugitive Telemetry, I will probably read this weekend, next week, and report back. I may also start Network Effect. It entirely depends on this. All of my reading is going to depend on this. So we'll cover that in a minute. But yes, Murderbot series, my reviews still stand. Fantastic series. Highly recommend. I am greatly enjoying this reread. I'm very much looking forward to the new stuff that I haven't read. Let's see, what else? There's not a lot else I have read because that's kind of it. I did today read some graphic novels. I read Book Love by Debbie Tung. This is just a little collection of short comics about book lovers and bookworms and like what it's like. I featured one on my Instagram, which is always linked below. And this was just intensely relatable. If you've been on bookish spaces on the internet, you've seen these. A lot of her stuff is very popular. It's very reposted, and then a lot of people kind of repurpose it and take the context out and put a different context. The art style will be familiar. I loved this. I thought it was very cute. I got it from my library, and honestly, I wouldn't mind having my own copy because it is something I would flip through again. So if it's something you like, or you have another book lover in your life and you want to get them something cute, I do really like it. And then I read, getting so hot, hold on. Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, I'm wearing my Amy's Crypt sweater. I haven't worn that in a hot minute. I forgot how hot it is. Hold on, let me open my door. Wow. Like my sound effects. Okay. And then today, I also read Insomniacs After School, volumes 7 and 8. And, listen, is this series going to hurt me? Are we building up to a silent voice moment? Is this series going to hurt me? Someone tell me now so I can gird my loins. That's all I'm asking. I love this, but there have been some changes. There have been some reveals, some little drops that make me concerned, deeply concerned, that I'm going to finish the series in absolute tears. I still love it. All that to say, I still love it. Very much recommend. I am liking it a whole lot. In volume 7, the kids are participating in the sports festival for the club races, and we get a reveal and some things happen. And then in volume 8, we see them get the club back on track, and they're wanting to do more activities. There was a scene, a 2-panel spread that made my heart absolutely flutter in this one, when we find out what our male main character is going to study moving forward. And if you know, you know. Oh my gosh, my little heart. But yes, love the series. I'm terrified now of the series. Thank you very much. But I'll be continuing. So that's everything I've read. I have so my bookmark is in the wrong spot, but I am about 20% of the way through this. I'm trying to read about 10% every night if I can. And I'm really eating this up. Now, we were kind of forewarned by other members of the read-along that this book is a little bit, tedious? And I can see that in some aspects. I will say this first 20%, there were some developments with Miramel, the princess, and she did a thing that it was quiet in our bedroom last night. My husband was, I think, playing a game or something, talking to somebody, and I was just reading, and all of a sudden I just went, yes, hell yes, and I was cheering and punching the air because Miramel did something, and I was so proud of her, and I was so happy. In this one, I really we have looked at and explored why she's doing the things that she has done in this series, and we see a little bit of payoff and a little bit of some possible growth, and I just, I'm super excited. After that scene, I'm very excited. I know it's probably going to slow down, but that scene right there was like almost payoff enough for some of the stuff from, the last book. If you're shaking, there's a cat like grooming herself right there. It's probably why you're shaking. I am also reading, let's see, what else am I reading? There's something else going on and I'm blanking on it. If We Cannot Go at the Speed of Light by, and it's translated, so I need to look. I know Anthony Her, Kim Chiop, Anthony Her translated it. This is an arc. I'm not sure when this comes out, but I'll link it down below. Let me show you the cover here. There it is. And this is a collection of, I believe it was a Korean collection. It's a collection of science fiction stories that explore a bunch of different possibilities and ideas. One of them is like the one I just read was the idea of emotions in physical state. If someone developed the ability to put emotions in like a rock state or something, would people buy them and for what reason? It's very interesting. There was a really interesting one that it didn't upset me, but like it really got me thinking, and it made me a little sad about an old lady being stuck on a station. She somehow got trapped away from her family due to her work, and then the different developments in space travel and how people are getting around, and now she can't get back to them. I don't know. It's so far I'm really enjoying these. I'm kind of reading like one a day between my Green Angel Tower reading, and it's great. But that's the only two things that I'm actively reading at this moment in time. I read those graphic novels today. And then I have a few things from publishers I'm going to show you guys. And then I did buy one book that I wanted to show you guys because I'm excited about it. It's very pretty, which is why I want to show you guys. Anyway, but what I got from the publishers, I got Daedalus is Dead by Seamus Sullivan, I think is how you say that name. Now this came out on Tuesday, so happy book birthday week to this. And this is a novella that explores what happens to Daedalus after the events of the Icarus myth, and I am getting ready to pick this up tonight. I'm very, very excited for it. It's a short one, and I believe I saw somewhere it's like exploring the idea of like toxic masculinity maybe or something. I'm not sure, but it says a delicious and gripping story of fatherhood and masculinity told through the reimagining Greek myth of Daedalus, Icarus, King Minos, Ariadne, and the Minotaur. I'm not really one for myths and retellings, but I have said it before, I'll say it again. Generally, if I am emailed about something, I will almost always give it a shot unless I know for a fact it's going to either upset me or it's not my preferred genre. So I said, hell yes, I'll try it. Send it on over. So here we are. And the other one I got from the publisher was one I requested, and I am so excited for. I absolutely loved The Last Dragon of the East last year by this author, and her new book, was that last year or this year? Whenever it came out, I loved it. I still love it. I think about it and I get all happy. And her new book is The Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox. This comes out in February. This is an arc for that. And I don't even know what it's about. Full honesty, I just saw it on the request form for Saga Press and I said, this one please, pretty please. I kind of begged. And here it is. I'm just so excited for it. It says, from the author of The Last Dragon comes a fresh, sweeping fantasy adventure inspired by one of history's most enduring myths, that of the shape-shifting Nine Fox. So it's about a young woman who is the last of her kind, she thinks, shape-shifting Nine Fox, and she is captured by a demon hunter and banished to hell. She manages one final act of revenge and drags him and two of his friends down with them. And now they're trapped and they have to survive together. And that sounds like a lot of fun. And like I said, I have high hopes. After The Last Dragon of the East, I have very high hopes for this. So we'll see. I am going to take it with me on a trip I'm going on soon, and we'll hopefully read it then. I know it's not out till February, but I can't resist. And the pretty book that I did buy, I have been a very, very, very good person and haven't been buying a lot of books before I read them, but I did buy this. I did buy this. And that is The Witch Who Chases the Sun by Dawn Chen. This is from one of the bindery prints, I believe. I don't know, I can't prove that by looking at it. I think this is one of the bindery imprints, like Easy Cat and Kissed Reads does, but I'm not sure. I do know it's gorgeous. If it's not, I do apologize. I am excited about it regardless. I love the cover. And this is about two women who are coming back together after a war. It says a decade after the Second War. Not going to attempt to pronounce that because I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Ying Kylie, an alchemist of a type, seeks to rekindle her relationship with her ex-lover and oracle, Anne Barbary, but the war has changed them both. Estranged by their losses, Kylie has gained the reputation as a notorious dark magic-wielding bloodhawk, and Anne barricades herself in a castle on a hill where her family's dark secrets lie. And it's rumored she is a monster herself, but they reunite and begin to unravel the mysteries of the village, and it becomes clear that the scars left by the war do not easily fade. Things are not as they seem. Old ghosts come back to haunt them. Past truths are revealed. And it says, can they be each other's salvations, or are they doomed to repeat the past? And that sounds so fun to me. I am very excited for that. I also got Dinosaur Sanctuary Volume 7 in the mail. It's upstairs. I will be reading that tomorrow because we all know I love Dinosaur Sanctuary a lot. And so I'll talk about that next week. So next week, I will tell you now, is going to be a weekend reads because I will not be able to film during the week, but I will film hopefully that Saturday or Sunday, depending on when my free time falls, because next week is going to be very busy. I will maybe have a vlog up of what's going on next week. We'll see. We'll see. We're going on a little trip, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to vlog it or not, but fingers crossed. We'll get it. We'll get something up. But that is it. I am going to continue to read Green Angel Tower, which I am enjoying immensely. I will try to finish this science fiction collection. I also have a copy of Remember You Will Die, which Angela talked about on one of her recent Friday reads, which I'll try to link below, and it sounded really good. I'm a little cautious because it is about a mother, even though she is a mother who is an AI woman, AI mother. How many times can I say this? Who is grieving the loss of their human child. And like mentioned it before, you know, child loss is a thing that I have dealt with. And so it's not something I like to read about, but I think this might be structured in a way where it's approachable. And I'm very interested because it's told in obituaries and we're kind of trying to solve what happened. That sounds really good to me. So I have a copy of that and I'm going to pick it up as well. So we will see. We will see. I'm going to go upstairs and change into like a tank top because I'm that hot now. It's October. It should be cold. I would like to file a complaint with the weather office. That's it. That's it for today. I will talk to you guys again next week. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, of course. And I'll talk to you then. Bye.